Those other companies are trying to duplicate it, and they're not medical devices. What does it take to be a medical device? You have to be ISO certified in about 4 areas, starting with the metals, starting about quality controls, quality, all those things. It can't just be parts from all over the country. Those parts have to be all measured. Is it titanium that runs $150 an ounce, or is it medical grade titanium that's pure that runs $2,300 an ounce? Yeah. You can't put the $150 metal into a medical device. Stuff like that. So there's 7 medical grade titanium plates dipped in medical grade platinum. People say medical grade titanium. Help me understand that. And a lady says, I've got titanium in my back. I said, that's medical grade titanium. Pure in its form, designed to last a lifetime that your body won't reject it. Go put $150 of metal in your back and see what happens. Yeah, it's not medical grade titanium. The medical community cannot use it. It's not pure. Your body's going to reject it. Every time I touch a button, I change the pH. I change from 9.5 to 9. I've got a button to make it 8.5. I've got a button to make it 7. That's for medications. I got a button to make it 6 and 6. That's for beauty. That's one I spray every day. I got one to make it a 4, a 2.5, 11.5. There is no company that does 2.5 and 11.5. They all say we're just like this company, 3 to 11. Well, this company isn't 3 to 11. This is 2.5 to 11.5. What's the difference? I'll show you. Now, every time I touch a button, I change the pH. Are you with me? Every time I change the pH, I restructure the water differently.
That's right.
And every time I restructure it differently, it does something else. I spent an hour and 20 minutes telling you what 9.5 does. I've got 8 other waters to share with you. No one's going to want to sit through that. So I'll share you 2. Now, I've had people tell me I heard they're expensive. Yes?
So how does it automatically change the pH every time you touch a button? What is it doing when you touch the button?
It's restructuring it, and it's got negative, positively and negatively charged ions. pH goes to 14, so it's not rocket science, really. If I push 9, 9 comes out of here, 5 comes out of the bottom hose. If I push 7, because that's 14, pH goes to 14. If I push 7, 7 comes out of the top, 7 comes out of the bottom. If I push, if I push 2.5, 2.5 comes out of one, 11.5 comes out of the other. It's always going to be 14. So out of all these waters, here's 2 of them I'll share with you. This one's 2.5 pH. There's no other machine that makes it. This is 11.5 pH. This is super, super, super acidic. This is super, super alkaline. They come out of this machine. Let me share these 2 with you, because no other company does this. These two have been approved in the United States. Are you with me on that? This is a medical device that the FDA, we don't want them to approve in the United States. It's been here for 15 years, and we're trying to keep it from being approved as a medical device in the United States. They'll tax it and do all sorts of stuff to it, regulate it, make their own laws with it. This has been here, if you don't know this 2.5, this has been here for 20 years in the United States, 25 years. This came way before the machine. This technology was happening 60 years ago. What does that mean? Around here in Dallas, companies buy these in 500-gallon and 10,000-gallon increments every day. They know what it is. They don't want you to know what this is. And I'll tell you why. At 2.5, restructured, this is 2.5, it's harmless, it's water. At 2.5, this disinfects everything on the planet.
That's right.
And everyone, a lot of people have a hard time hearing that. You mean some stuff. I mean everything.
Everything.
Potty mouth?
This
That too. That too.
Get over here. It disinfects it all. Now, before that sounds crazy for you, this isn't water. When you restructure water to 2.5, it becomes hypochlorous acid. It's hypochlorous acid. But it's harmless. I can spray this in my kids' eyes. My pets can run through it. I can disinfect topical dermatitis. I'm going to say some hard stuff. Eczema, psoriasis, acne, MRSA, E. coli, strep, staph.
Yes.
People like MRSA. My uncle had his leg cut off because he had MRSA on there. And it was like, that didn't have to happen. It kills it. Is that your opinion? I'll show you the case study on it.
Yeah.
Outside of everybody I know that does this. When my kids have strep, do you think they go to a doctor? Strep works like this. Open your mouth, boy. That morning, that afternoon, they go to school. They kill strep. If you come to my house today, years later, they're in my kitchen gargling it.
Yeah.
He's 11.
Yeah.
Oh, you got your kid trained. He's not trained. He knows his throat isn't going to hurt tomorrow.
Right.
He's dealt with strep before when he was younger. We've all dealt with strep. I'm going to do this and I'm going to move on. Listen, Every one of us who's ever gotten sick, we have that moment where we go, ooh, I go tick, and we tell everybody, I think I'm getting sick. Then the next day they're like, I'm sick. I knew I was getting sick. You know that little tickle you get? Right then. We snort this in our nose, we stick it in our ear, we gargle with it, and we
Yes.
swallow some of it.
Yeah.
All the filters, it kills it right there. Right there. My kids haven't been to the doctor in 6-7 years. Haven't been to a doctor in 6 or 7 years. They're kids. No one goes to the doctor that I know. None of my friends. Yeah, everybody's so scared about the flu every year. I've got a big organization and no one gets the flu.
That's right.
You're talking about how most disease processes like cancer die in an acidic, or live in an acidic environment, but that's an acidic environment, so what's the difference?
Well, you're not drinking all these. All you're doing is killing the pathogens right there on the spot.
Topical.
Yeah, now if you were drinking a gallon of this every day, that's not gonna be good for you.
No, it's not.
Yeah. But it's not gonna poison you, it's just not gonna be good for you.
I use it for my eyes. The doctor said I had hemorrhage in back of this eye.
Yeah.
So I took the 2.5 and the 11.5, switch it out.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
went to the doctor the next month. I don't know what happened, but you don't have any hemorrhage, and that came from the
Yeah,
specialist.
that is life changing.
Yeah.
Let me answer your question a little bit better. Think of this as chemicals that you're gonna replace. Every chemical in your house is either a disinfectant or a grease cutter. Tide, bleach, 491X. Okay, this one costs 3 cents, and I can disinfect. I can put it on my cutting boards, my doorknobs at flu season, and get rid of all those chemicals. Those chemicals, because they're not natural, are causing cancer. Those chemicals, from that standpoint, and I'll show you that. Someone have a question here?
You know what, she's a how person more so than me. She still can't figure out how it works.
Let me send you a video on it. It's step by step, and it's 2 minutes long.
Okay.
It's 2 minutes long. It'll show you the insides and show you everything, each rod, how it works, in 2 minutes in order.
But I did, and I'm still kinda new at this.
Yeah.
I woke up, my eyes was kinda really stuck together, and a lady friend is trying to assist me with this, the distributor.
Yeah.
Had told me about a guy that sprayed it in his eye. So I just took a chance and sprayed the 2.5 in my eye, and it went away.
Hey, look, this is how we wake up in my house.
That's me too. That's how I wake up.
Hey, let me tell you something. All of us that have been around have one of these.
I sure do. I got several of
And let me
those.
tell you what it's for. When we get our food at lunch,
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody I know gets food poisoning. If I'm on an airplane and somebody sneezes, I'm like,
Yeah.
I know what it does. I know how it works. There's a little bit difference. Here's what I'm telling you. I can fill this up for 3 cents and replace all those things. I can kill strep. I can kill all of them. That's hard for people to hear because it's just water, right? But smell this if you haven't smelled it before. And be gentle. I'm trying to warn you, but go ahead. Does it smell like H2O? Does it smell like it might disinfect no matter what it is? Interesting. It's just water.
Like chlorine.
But it's,
Oh, wow.
Oh, I
It's
know.
like pool water.
Yep.
what do you think's in pool water to kill bacteria? It's gonna surprise you. Be gentle. That's just water restructure. That's mind blowing to me. That's just water
Don't you
restructure.
know you got exposed to something like pool water? How does this help? What can you do?
Yeah. The 11.5.
Right, expose yourself to?
Yeah, same thing. You're gonna be exposed to pool water. You can't swim in that stuff every day, and I'll show you that too. That's why you want a salt pool or ozone or different ways to make pools. Chlorine pools are banned in Europe.
You can waste it.
Against the law, can't have
I
one.
use chlorine water on my fingers.
Chlorine is banned in Europe. Can't have a chlorinated pool in Europe. It's against the law. They didn't say it was a bad idea. Smoking's a bad idea. Surgeon General says you might get cancer. They're saying it's against the law. Change it out, we'll write you a ticket. You haven't changed it out, we'll put you in jail. Yeah, it's against the law. Because it causes cancer and they pay for your health care. Pretty easy, isn't it?
Is it used as like a detergent?
Absolutely. No, this is a disinfectant. But we'll get to that detergent thing. Hey, smelling this, who believes it might disinfect? It's got a chance, no matter what it is? Who believes you should be drinking it?
You can drink it.
It's just water.
It's water.
People are like, that smells just like bleach. Well, some of the molecular structure of what's in bleach is in here. But those carcinogens that you shouldn't drink bleach because they'll kill you are not in here. So what does that mean? That means I can spray this in my kids' eyes. My pets can run through it. And what do you think I can do with all that money? How many chemicals can I take out of my house? Because all my disinfectants. And what can I do with that money? I'll go buy somebody else's machine. I get this all the time. This is awesome. They're so expensive. I'm like, who told you they were expensive? Where'd you hear that? I get that all the time. This machine, you buy these for $20, $45 a month. For how long? Not the rest of your life. You're doing this the rest of your life. And you write the whole machine off. No one's ever told you that. You write the whole machine off.
What?
It's tax deductible, the whole machine. Tax deductible, write it off. And there's more to it than that. Trust me, you figure out what you're spending over the next 20. It's a medical device. 40 years from now, 40, you'll still have this machine. It's not an appliance. It's not an appliance. So what do you think this does? Watch this, guys. I have scientists that ask me to do this one again. This is 11.5. It doesn't disinfect. It's a grease cutter. You use this to wash your clothes as a detergent.
Yes.
And the reason why people have a hard time hearing that for the first time is because oil and water don't mix.
Watch.
I have molecular scientists that even go, what? What did I see? Do it again. They can't get their head around it. Who believes this is pretty oily? This is sesame seed oil. This, I'm gonna put a lot on the top of your countertop. Let's just say like something like this on top of your stove. If your stove was like that, that would be pretty oily. And I'm gonna do this in front of you. Because what happens when you mix oil and water?
It don't work.
Everybody knows that. I don't know if everyone's ever seen it. It all goes to the top, right? Everybody knew that, but I wanted to show it to you. It all goes to the top. So what does that mean? That means if you want to clean your house, scientifically, do not use Aquafina. You can't do it. You gotta go use a grease cutter.
That's right.
But here's what we don't understand about grease cutters. Go home and read your grease cutter. I promise you it says this on your bottle. We recommend you're not in the room when you use our product. How can I not be in the room? Who's gonna, as long as you're not in the room, right? If you swallow this or inhale this, consult your physician immediately. Right? If you get this in your eyes, or call the 1-800 Poison Control Center. Yeah. So we don't have a choice. This cost me about 3 cents to fill up. Anyone who knows me knows I like 11.5 more than 2.5. It's just water. Now watch this, guys. When you restructure water to 11.5, watch this. I know. What am I looking at, Mike? It went past cutting grease to emulsification. That emulsified oil. What does that mean? Oh, that means I can fill this up and clean up my whole house. How much is this? Well, it's not $6 a bottle, and it's not $4.09, and it's not Tide, and it's not bleach. The things that do cause cancer. You can clean my house for a couple months for 6 cents. What are you gonna do with that money? Since this is so expensive. Go buy, redirect your money. Go buy some. And for how long? The rest of your life. You'll have this thing paid for after a few years. For the next 40 years, you'll still be bringing in money, saving money from this guy. Let me answer his scientifically. Chemical exposure is the #1 cause of cancer. It's not number 12 or number 117. It's the #1 cause of cancer, chemical exposure. If you know someone who worked at a 409 plant, trust me, the EPA comes in and tests for chemicals. You can't just make chemicals on top of chemicals on top of chemicals. You're gonna kill the employees. So the EPA gets involved and they test. And what happens if they find chemicals? They're gonna find you, shut you down, make you understand how to do this, right? Who thinks that's a good program if you had someone who worked there? Yeah, but no regulations at our house. See, we put chemicals on top of chemicals on top of chemicals with no regulation. No EPA is coming in until someone has the #1 cause of cancer, chemical exposure. Chemical exposure, the carcinogens, the poisons and chemicals. If you knew what I knew, you would buy these for $40 a bottle if they were for sale. I'm telling you, they come with a machine. Listen to me. Don't buy a machine that doesn't make these. This is why that is a medical device. Because they use it for, this was made 65 years ago for skin disorders and stomach disorders and cancer. This is what it was designed for. It has lots of other purposes. But years ago, this is what this was designed for. If it didn't make 11.5 and 2.5, this wouldn't be a medical device in Japan. People are like, is that a big deal, 2.5 and 11.5? It's the game changer. There's a lot of companies that say, we're just like them. Oh, but we don't do that. That's why you buy the machine. Don't buy a machine that doesn't do it. And hey, give that a round of applause. I'll show you one more thing. I'm going to tell you a story and I'm going to introduce you to somebody, but I think this is pretty cool because this is something we're not learning in the United States yet. Who believes there's chemicals on your food? Raise your hand. Yeah. Pesticides, fungicides, watch this. I'm gonna put some in that cup, some in that cup. Some on the table, some on the floor. There's no real way to do this. Here we go. And who believes there's pesticides on there? You gotta raise your hand if you believe it, yeah. And do people really have a problem with that? Not so much, right? Slow this down and this will resonate with you. Why do they put pesticides on our food? So the bugs don't eat it. Hey, that's fair, right? Slow that down. They found a chemical they could spray on your food that the bug won't even eat. He's that big. His brain is that big. And he's like, I'm smarter than that.
Wow.
What was your first clue? That dude with the hazmat suit. That was my first clue. And I asked him, can I have a hazmat suit when I eat it? They said no. Every once in a while, a dodo bug comes along. He's not as smart as the other bugs, and he eats it. Guess what happens to him? Guess when he dies? Today. He's an itty bitty bug. You're a big old bug. You're not going to die today. But it's going to cause problems, and I'll show you where you can find that case study. What's the best way to grow them? Water them. Hey, don't you think if I watered it, I'm going to wash off the pesticide? And if that was true, what is the company going to have to do now? Spray a pesticide, water it to grow it. Spray a pesticide, water it to grow it. They're running out of profit. So what these smart women and men learned to do years ago was to spray this pesticide on with an oil base. Designed to not come off when you water it. Now they only have to spray it once. And they can save all that margin. Because they don't want the bug to eat it. Grows 1,000 cherry tomatoes. The bug eats 300. It's not as profitable. So you can buy, that's organic, by the way. You know, don't spray it, that's organic. Why does it cost so much? Because they lost a lot of the yield. But if they spray it, they can grow 1,000 and go sell 1,000. But it's got that on there. At our house, we use 11.5. And I'll tell you why. This is an oil-based cutter. And here's the myth that you're not realizing. Because people say, I know there's junk on our food, but we're very serious about our food. We put it in a colander, we clean it for my family. I put it in plastic bags and put it in the refrigerator. My family doesn't eat all that stuff. I said, oh, it ain't coming off. If someone told you you're gonna clean it, they were wrong. Look, I can clean it, and clean it, and nothing's coming off. It's designed not to come off. We use 11.5 because it's a grease cutter. Watch this if you haven't seen it. I don't even have to clean it that much. What do you think that is?
Yeah.
Now I can clean it some more if you want. Hey, my friend's got a machine. It's not from our company. It doesn't do this. And this is the game changer. What do you think that is? That's poison.
It's poison.
Is that bad? I'll pay you to drink it.
No, I don't want it. Keep it.
I can't get anybody to pay me. I'll pay you to drink it. But here's the irony. Tomorrow, while you're on your health kick, you'll pay them to eat it. You'll pay them to eat it. Let me tell you the difference between these two. They're night and day.
This year.
They came from the same place, and they were in the water for 3 seconds. They're night and day. You gotta taste them. And that's gonna be the same with beans, spaghetti, rice, noodles, everything's gonna
And
taste
broccoli.
different. Coffee, tea, night and day, because it doesn't have chlorine in it, doesn't have chemicals in it, it's gonna retain all those enzymes in the vegetables. They're night and day difference. You need to come taste these two. Now I would do this, because this is where America's missing the boat. Go to whatsonmyfood.org. That means if you really want to know what's on your food, go to what's on my food. Not .net, .org. Go find the cherry tomato, click on the pesticides. Are you ready for this? Listen now. They're gonna list the hormone disruptors that are on here. Why our thyroid is out of whack in the U.S. Everybody we know, thyroid issue. Why are we having so many thyroid issues? Why isn't the rest of the world having these thyroid issues? Because it's regulated. This is what's on our food. Hey, that's not opinion. That's a PubMed case study. They're going to list the cancer-causing carcinogen on your food.
Yes.
Hey, they can't put that on our food. They've got it in documentation. They've warned you. Well, I've never heard of it. That's not their deal. Their deal is that they can spray it on the food. They've given it to the public, and it's buyer beware. You get the information. This is why all of our kids are ADHD. And let me tell you, that's not because they eat candy all day. It's because they're eating their vegetables like they're supposed to. These are good, the best way they've been taught to eat. we're feeding our kids right, we're trying to give them a nice juice and a nice vegetable, and they're still, where's the problem? It's right here in front of you. I'll give you that documentation. I'm gonna tell you a story, and I wanna introduce you to somebody, because I want you to know this. This company in Magic has been around for 45 years. They're not guessing. They're in 172 countries. They're not new at it. It's new to you. They know a few things. They know that if you'll drink this water, first of all, you can get it right there for the rest of your life. They know that if you'll drink this water, these things will happen to you. You know what else they know? When these things happen to you, what are you going to do? You're going to tell somebody. That's how we're wrapped. That's how we're made. They know you're going to tell somebody. So let me tell you about this company from Enagic.